What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the A&T podcast. You might be thinking, who's this guy? It's not Tavius. This is our buddy Zach. We are introducing him to the podcast. Zach, say hello.
What's up, y'all?
Uh, Go ahead. Tell us your interests in sports and your teams.
Okay, so sports-wise, I'm more focused on in the baseball world. I played college baseball at the same college where Aiden and Tavius also went. Um, so my favorite team, unfortunately, is the White Sox. Grew up, was a fan of them all through, yeah, all through growing up. I can thank my father for that one. So I'm in constant pain of being a White Sox fan. But yeah, they've been my favorite team. I've always loved going to their games, especially because they're very dirt cheap, easy to get into. The stadium has some great food. Um,
It's the only thing
although,
good there.
true, although a lot of Chicago people, who are White Sox fans, do hate the Cubs. I don't hate the Cubs. I don't mind watching them actually. They're not a bad like. I mean, going to Wrigley's fun. Wrigleyville's fun, but I'm just more of a South Side person. As far as the other sports go, football, Bears, unfortunately, again, basketball, Bulls, unfortunately. Uh, Chicago sports fan is not fun. Yeah, it's just everyone's not good right now. It's not a good time to be a Chicago sports fan, but there is hope. At least for the Bears, the next couple of years, we'll see. But every time there's hope, it gets shattered very
I
quickly.
don't know. They're kind of on a cycle right now. That's an endless cycle.
It's an endless cycle of every 4 years draft a quarterback, the next year fire the coach, and it just continues. So
Yep.
we'll see.
What about
College
college?
wise,
College sports?
college wise, you know, to, much to your dismay, I don't really have a favorite college football team. Never have. I just kind of watch for fun, watch for some good games. If I had to pick a team, I mean, it would be Illinois, just because from Illinois I watched them a little bit growing up, but there's nothing like the SEC teams that you guys are fans of. So, um,
ILL.
yeah, can't compete. College basketball would definitely be Illinois though, just because I've watched them a lot the last couple of years, especially since they've been more fun to watch. Um, Baseball wise, I mean, it's college baseball for me is hard to pay attention to because there's so much going on. The rankings are always constantly changing. It's more fun for me to watch once it gets to like the conference tournaments and the regionals and going from there. Same with softball. Like softball, I'll actually probably watch more because it's much more fast paced and it's just I feel like I for some reason know softball better. Um, I was probably if anything a Northwestern fan, but even now softball it's like anyone but Oklahoma these days. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I got for my teams at least.
You know, I can respect the Illinois. I grew up going to Illinois games, so I support Illinois. I'd say I'm a little bit of a fan, but as you guys may know, diehard Gator fan, always will be. Um, but probably wondering why we haven't had a couple videos out. We've kind of went on I want to say 3 week kind of just spurt of not doing the podcast, and I will say it started whenever we were going to the Florida LSU game. So we'll kind of just go from there and then get all caught up. But I went, Zach went, Tavius went. It was a great time in my eyes. It was Zach's first ever college football game. By college, we mean D1. Of course, he went to D3, but Division One, and this was my second time being at the Swamp. First SEC regular season game. Uh, yeah, Zach, what was your thoughts going to the Swamp?
I mean, from the first moment, from the first third down, it was just like I couldn't hear any. Like I had a headache like immediately after the first third down. Like it was the sound in that stadium was insane. Like I wasn't expecting it to. I was expecting it to be loud, but not like that loud. And once I got used to it, it was okay. But that first third down and how loud that place got. I mean, maybe it's just because it was an SEC game, maybe because it was a rival game. I don't know, but it blew my expectations on how loud it was, and even just the entire campus during when we went and tailgated, like the amount of people there, just insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah,
We'll gladly do it again,
we will.
but it was incredible incredible to say the least. I was in awe.
Yeah, so we showed up. Let's see, we drove all the way through Thursday night into Friday. We got there around 12, 1 o'clock, and then went straight on campus. Kind of just saw what campus life was like as they were going to class, and we ended up going to the bookstore, which was like a whole mall. It was pretty cool. Um, didn't realize it, but that was actually Dad's weekend, so a lot of families were on campus. Had a lot of the tarps, painted tarps up there with saying some very interesting things. But at
Oh,
the very end, it said "Welcome families."
the,
Um,
the Greek life houses we passed with all
yeah,
the different signs and tarps were hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
they were good. But yeah, that was my first SEC regular season game, first rivalry game there at the Swamp. Uh, Definitely went in there thinking that we could win the game. Tavius, on the other hand, the night before was talking all sorts of smack, like, "Sorry, Aiden, we're gonna beat you so bad, and it's gonna be a whooping, and blah blah this, blah blah that." And just reminded him, "Hey, you got to line up and play ball." And he forgot that we had a star quarterback as a freshman, DJ Lagway, and we did what we did. Defense did a great job. Um, but yeah, as soon as kickoff kind of started, I kind of looked over at Zach and Tavius and was like, "Hopefully you guys are okay with loud noises because we're about to turn up the volume." um,
Yeah,
um,
the first third down. Oh my God! Like I said earlier, so loud in that place. Could not hear.
but yeah, this is going to be an annual thing. So next year we will be going to Death Valley. And I know that we're talking about how loud Florida is, but I also know how loud LSU Death Valley can get. So I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to watch the Gators go down there, hopefully come out with a win. I'm almost positive that that will be a night game. It'd be pretty cool if College Game Day makes it down there. That will be. They already released the schedule, which we'll get into later on. But week 3, don't know how I feel about that, playing those
It's
two teams
early.
playing that early. Um, but yeah, we already got it marked down in our calendars. We'll be starting to put that all together. But yeah, it was a fun trip, definitely needed. But yeah, can't wait for next year. And I'm already looking at the Gator schedule for next year, trying to see which game I can go down there and watch them play again. Um,
Yeah, I mean it was quite the experience. I mean to go to my first D1 football game at an SEC rival game, like I mean the only thing that could probably beat that is like a bowl game, and in my opinion, so it was everything about it was a lot of fun, and the campus and the area around the campus, like after the game, after the Gators won, I mean insane, absolutely insane. The amount of people, the amount of partying that was happening, it was wild.
yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. But yeah, definitely excited to get back down there to the swamp down in Gainesville uh, again, and then also looking forward to going down there to Death Valley and seeing what they have to hold down there.
Yeah, I
Um,
can't wait to lose my hearing in Death Valley.
yeah, but so yeah, that's where we kind of stopped. Then we kind of just went through Thanksgiving. We were with our families and everything. Um, but I hope everybody did have a good Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for my friends that we can do this with, and thankful for anybody that watches and supports us as we kind of get this thing rolling. But I did have a question for you, Zach. Top three things that you have to have on your Thanksgiving plate. Top three. So start at three and then go all the way up to one. They have to be in order. What do you got?
Three would have to be just some good old mashed potatoes. I mean, you can't go wrong there. Two, some nice juicy ham. I
Juicy
can't go wrong
ham.
with it. Yes, like I want that thing dripping when I take it out of the pan.
All
Um,
right.
you might. My number one. This might come as like a shock to you, but it's gonna be like corn casserole. I am a huge corn casserole person. Why? I don't know. I just every time at Thanksgiving or like even at Christmas upcoming parties, I always grab a heaping spoon, like serving spoonful of it. It's just always so good.
Who makes that?
Never gone. Um, well, this one that I had a lot of this year was Emily's mom, and it was, I mean, her mom makes some fire food. Everything she makes is just great. Um, Normally around Christmas time, it's like my grandma's, or at other parties, it's just like some family members. But
All right, I'm gonna put you in a pickle. Whose is better, Emily's mom or your Grams?
I plead the fifth. I'm not answering that because both are just that good. Like it's hard to choose because it's not like I'm having it constantly, and like they both make their own like really good stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
like it's hard to choose because I've
All
had
right.
so many good things, even in like the even in the last 4+ years, like with Emily's mom. Like I've had so many good food options from her. But then again, I had like a lifetime of stuff from my grandma, so it's hard to choose because
I
both of
got
them
you.
are good in their own ways.
Just wanted to see if you were gonna pick which deep down I know you might have one and you might just be pushing it aside because you don't want to get beat up or anything, which I understand, but understood.
Yeah, it's
So
either I get beat up for my family or I get beat up by Emily.
exactly. One's a little closer right now.
Exactly.
So mine would be a nice roll, a good old Hawaiian roll, little butter on it. Uh,
Like a sweet roll.
yeah, like sweet roll, and then ham. I'm gonna go with ham at two as well. Grandma makes a nice uh, brown sugar maple ham,
Mm.
real good. And then this one's gonna be an unpopular one, but it's my grandma's noodles. She makes them every year for Thanksgiving. She makes them every year for Christmas. And every single year, I'm excited for them, and I always have to grab a big old scoop.
What kind of noodles are these?
Just regular noodles. Just regular noodles. Homemade. She literally makes them the day before from scratch. Flour, egg, and then she leaves them out, lets them dry, throws them in a pan, cooks them. And I'm gonna have to get the recipe here soon so I can make my own. But it's real good. It's real good.
Yeah, if there's one
Um,
thing I've learned, it's to get recipes from your family members.
oh yeah.
Like this chili I have right now was my grandpa's old recipe, and it's very good.
And they know how to cook. Let's just say that. So hopefully that I can start picking it up and doing it that way as well. Um, but my Thanksgiving was nice. Hung out with the family. Gotta catch up, and then that's about it. Yours was pretty good.
Yeah, it was busy because we went to a couple different places, but it was still fun. It was a good time. It was really cold that day, but it was still good.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it was cold when it's 12 degrees right now here, but it was cold that day at least.
Yeah. Um, but go ahead and let us know your top three things you have to have on your Thanksgiving plate. Um, Rate them 3 to 1. We'll have to see what Tavius says whenever he comes back. But
I bet you he has like a wild answer that none of us would pick.
probably, I mean, everybody knows Tavius by now. He's got some takes, and but Yep.
Leave it at that. He's got some takes.
Yeah. So then now, sticking with the holidays, with Christmas coming up, I want to do another top three. Give me your top three Christmas movies that you like to watch on Christmas
On Christmas or just leading up to Christmas?
or leading up to Christmas.
If you have yours, go for it, because I'll have to think about this.
All right. So number three, Santa Claus. Just regular old Santa Claus. It's a classic. Number two, Santa Claus 2. Santa Claus 2 is, in my eyes, the second best movie, Christmas movie I've ever watched. It might be because I grew up watching it and I just love it. Um, and then number one, the first Home Alone. Those are my top three.
Why do you like two better than one for Santa Claus?
So,
I'm just curious.
great question. Great question. The reason that Santa Claus 2 edges out Santa Claus 1 is because Charlie is grown up. He's a little troublemaker, gets in trouble with school, and then it's the complete opposite of Santa Claus 1, right? So Scott Calvin is over here getting big and wondering why he's turning into Santa, where Santa Claus 2, he wants to stay Santa. So one of my favorite parts of that movie is whenever they go to the little like school and he starts using like his magic and is like, "Oh, you wanted this toy and you wanted that toy," and like,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know,
the Christmas
Christmas
party.
Christmas spirit. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just it gets me in the Christmas mood, you know.
that's fair. I respect that. I like because a lot of people will say that they like the first one better because it's the first one, it's the original. But I mean, I agree. I think the second one is better. But um, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to hear Santa Claus 1 and 2 in that list.
Santa Claus 1 is good. It's I like the story behind it, but I also just I like Santa Claus 2's story too. He's like very into it and like loves being Santa. Where the first part he's like, "I'm not Santa," blah blah blah. And I
Mhm.
love the start of that movie whenever he's trying to cook and it just goes straight burnt. So they go to Denny's. Like that's probably
Oh
why I
yeah.
cracked up whenever they did that. But yeah, those are top three.
See, as I look at like some movies, like it's tough. Like I have a couple, but it's hard to like for me to like necessarily rank. But I think I go with these for top three. My number three is actually kind of a newer one. It's called The Christmas Chronicles. It's on Netflix with Kurt Russell. It's a newer one, but I actually think it's really good. I feel like it could definitely, if it was more, if it was like in theaters instead of just Netflix, I feel like it would have been more like mainstream. But this, I watch it every Christmas season. Takes place partially in Chicago too, so I always like that. But it's just if you haven't watched it, I go watch it. It's a good one. Um, Number two, I hate to say this because it's I originally I would have said Elf, but I'm gonna go with the live action Grinch movie. And I have Emily to blame for that one because oh my gosh, I've watched it so many times the last couple of years over Christmas, and I've come to enjoy it a lot. Because when I was younger and growing up, I didn't really care for it, but now that I've watched it so much, I guess it's just been on, and I've actually watched it. Like I'm enjoying it. So, and number one, Home Alone. I mean, it's not going to be beat for me. Home Alone is just a classic. I mean, 1 and 2, if I can combine them, because they're both of them are good in their own right. Sure, maybe two is a little bit repetitive and kind of the same like story and plot B wise, but I still think that both of those are really good.
Yeah, no, you made a good point with the Grinch. After I got done with my list, I definitely was like, yeah, Grinch is definitely up there. So my honorable mentions would have to be both the live action Grinch and the cartoon Grinch. If you haven't seen the cartoon Grinch, it is pretty good. The only thing that I would say is that Jim Carrey as Grinch will never be beat.
No,
If
not at
if
all.
they would have used his voice there, would have been 10 out of 10. Probably would have been my top three. But my other one, it would be the Polar Express. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
Polar Express
my
is
my mentions
you
would be Elf and
can't beat
Polar
it.
Express. I think just because the Grinch, like Jim Carrey, made that movie so good. Like the way he portrayed the Grinch was just, it's great.
Yeah.
It's so quotable. It's funny, and like literally, me and like Emily and I will quote it sometimes when we're just talking about random stuff. So it's funny, and it's gotten up there. So, but yeah,
It's definitely. Go ahead.
I definitely think if you do have time or have free time, watch The Christmas Chronicles on Netflix. You'll like it.
I did want to watch the new Christmas movie with The Rock and Chris Evans and that.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I can't think of it right now, but something like that. I saw it. Saw the trailer, and it's something that I'm probably gonna
It's
look
called
at.
yeah, Red One or whatever.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. Looks funny, so might might throw that on this weekend. See. Um, but yeah, happy holidays to all of you guys. As we kind of get closer, we'll kind of do some more stuff like this. Go ahead and let us know your top three Christmas movies. Um, so right now we got two things: top three things that you have to have on your Thanksgiving plate. Top three Christmas movies that you're watching all the way up to Christmas or even on Christmas. But yeah, we're looking to kind of broaden what we talk about, not just sports, just kind of like what we think top tier things are in the real world, and then also in the sports world. But yeah, we can start to kind of dive right into sports now. Unless Zach, do you have any other things that you want to talk about?
Um, I got nothing other than just it's Christmas time.
Hmm. All right, so we're gonna we're gonna go ahead and start off with NHL. Now, as you guys know, I am new to the NHL world, but that's not going to stop me from cheering on my Utah Hockey Club, who currently has a better record than both Zach and Tavius's teams. It's not the best record, right? We're a little over 500, but hey, we're on a roll right now. Zach's team's right here with 9-17. It's a Chicago team. What else are you going to expect? Uh, and then Tavius is at the bottom of his Atlantic League with 11-14. So yeah,
I didn't realize the Canadians were doing that bad either.
yeah. But
Granted, I
I
haven't.
think what
Sorry, granted, I haven't really paid that much attention to hockey in the last couple of years, but other than just watching playoffs. But um, yeah, I mean, it's the top teams don't surprise me from what I've followed along with. It's just coming from Chicago and living through the Blackhawks dynasty in the 2010s. It's depressing to see how far off they've fallen.
yeah. It's a lot of people are talking about the Panthers repeating, which is interesting because they are a very strong hockey team right now, but repeating in any sport is hard, and I can only imagine like hockey just doing the same. So, another thing I wanted to touch on, I don't know if many of you guys watched the Pat McAfee show or are kind of caught up, but I can't remember the dude's name. He's a retired hockey player. He's on TNT whenever they do their hockey show. Was doing, from what it seems like, the right thing from every video that I've seen. He was sticking up for the right people against some people that don't really care about other human beings. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he was in a restaurant, I believe it was in Arizona, called Houston's, where he eats, he said, like 4 or 5 times a week. And these guys came walking in and pressing the managers, and he just went over there to kind of settle it down, and they started swinging on him. It was like him, and then against like 8 other dudes. It was crazy. Yeah, and but I don't care who you are. It takes guts to do that, especially if you're going to be outnumbered. Obviously, he's used to play hockey, so he's used to getting hit and beat up. But he was just doing the right thing and kind of sticking up for the people that he knew. And they released videos of those guys hitting like waitresses at a different spot, like at a golf course and stuff. And to me, that's just not right. But yeah, it's crazy. And I guess there's a lot of other stuff coming out, how they were like scamming people and stuff like that. So hopefully they figure that all out and it all gets settled. But I got some a lot of respect for him for sticking up and inserting himself into a situation that he knew he was outnumbered. But
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to touch on that because that's something that I appreciate and have huge amount of respect for. But I don't know if you heard that or not.
No, that's a very interesting story. Kind of
It's
messed up,
crazy.
but that's at least he was able to, you know, do the right thing.
If you guys haven't seen it or don't know anything that what I'm talking about, go ahead and I think Pat McAfee shows are all recorded and are all on YouTube. You can either go there or go to his social media, and I'm sure he has it clipped on there. But it kind of goes through the whole entire thing, and he talks about the whole thing, and it's pretty messed up from what I get for what they were doing. But it's also like I said, I just have a lot of respect for what he did for sticking up for them.
Yeah.
But that's enough of hockey. I think we still got a lot of season left, so we'll see if my hockey club can climb up in their rankings. We'll see what the Chicago Blackhawks can do, and let's hope Tavius' team can start pulling its weight too. So we'll see.
Shall see.
Now, Zach, don't get too excited. This is Zach's team. This is Zach's sport. MLB, and we got some news starting right here with Juan Soto signing. What it was like? What $750 million?
Yeah, let me find it real quick. It was 765 million, 15 years, which is that's just insane. Absolutely insane.
Largest deal in sports history. What was what's his Shohei? Ohtani?
Shohei was, I think, somewhere around the 700 million mark, but his money's all deferred, so he's not getting paid right away. So it's the details of his contract are I still don't really understand exactly because I mean I also haven't really looked into it and trying to understand it, but it's very interesting. But it's yeah, I mean the last couple of years have seen insane contracts for baseball. Juan Soto this year, last year was Shohei, and I mean, I don't like. I'm torn because 15 years is a long time. It's a long time. I mean, sure, MLB you can play 15 years. Like it's one of the maybe two sports you can play 15 plus years in. I think personally you could probably play basketball for 15 years, but NFL and hockey, it's more. It takes more of a toll on the body to play for 15 years like that. But I mean, 15 years from now, I mean, what is he? Is he 28?
That's what I was gonna ask. How old is he?
I don't know. He's 26. He's literally 2 years.
Our
He
age.
just turned 26 in October, so he's literally our age, which I didn't even know. That's crazy. I thought he was always older than me.
He looks older.
He does look older. He really does. But it's 15 years from now, he's gonna be 41. Like I highly doubt he's gonna stay in the Mets for the next 15 years. I highly doubt he even makes it 15 years because he's been playing since I think he was 19 or 20 in the professional baseball. So I think he could, but on the Mets for the next 15 years, no offense, but it's the Mets. I mean, they're the most inconsistent team in baseball.
That's a
They
White
go.
Sox fan.
That's coming from a White Sox fan. So I mean, it's great for him. You know, he's a phenomenal player. I've always liked him. I especially like using him in the show. He's fun to use. His batting stance is unique. His little taunting he does, it's unique. He's definitely a great player. So I think it is a very good signing. I think it's just a very like the amount of money and the amount of years is just insane. Like if you took like prime Mike Trout, like I mean he's arguably still in his prime, but he's just riddled with injuries. Um, if you took him like 2016, 2017, and he was in free agency, and you're getting the contracts like now back then, oh he'd easily be getting this much money too. But it's just not how it is right now. And good for Soto. I hope we'll see how it turns out. The Mets do have a solid team. I mean, they made the NLCS this year, so I think that they'll still be solid. But I don't know. I feel like they go back and forth like every year with how they're good or not. Um,
Yeah.
um,
For me, it's more of just like I forget how much money is in baseball until I see these contracts, and I'm just like, holy cow. Which I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you get
there's
a
no salary cap.
no. There's no salary cap. They have over 100 games through a season. I mean, you unless you're the White Sox, you're pretty much like selling good tickets for a decent amount. Um, but yeah, that just like blows my mind that somebody can. He's our age and he just signed a contract for $765 million.
Yeah, I wish I could make that much money.
And me too. Like
Um,
I just that's nuts to me.
but yeah, I mean, otherwise, elsewhere throughout the league, I know that Kyle Tucker is possibly getting traded soon. Um, I know the Cubs have talked with him, or the Cubs have talked with the Astros, but the Astros are wanting like a ridiculous amount for him, from what I've been hearing. Like they wanted Isaac Paredes or Isaac Paredes, sorry, a couple other good people in the Cubs. Which I mean, Tucker's a good player, but he's not worth 3 to 4 players in my opinion. Um, Tavius may argue with that, but he's also a Astros fan.
Astros fan.
The Red Sox just traded the White Sox just traded Garrett Crochet. You know, our literal only pitcher on their roster that was like top of the line and like could throw consistent. I mean, yeah, he's gone. This is eerily similar to how it was. What was it? I think 2015 or 16 when they traded Chris Sale to the Red Sox, and they got Moncada and Michael Kopech. So this is eerily similar. We got some very good prospects. Montgomery is a stud. Kyle Teal is a stud. Um, the other two are pretty solid too. So hopefully, a couple years they make their way through the farm system and get up. Because I mean, I know that Red Sox farm system was pretty solid. So we'll see. I hope that I hope that it works out good. Um, but obviously, we're a couple years from seeing the actual good results. And I wish the best for Crochet. I remember when when he drafted him. I think it was the 2020 season because he played for Tennessee and he skipped through the minor leagues and went straight to the MLB and was pitching. Um, what could have been for the White Sox in 2020, 2021, 2022, but
You
that could
guys,
go on about
you guys
that.
got
But
the record last year, didn't you?
well,
Yeah.
technically this year, but yeah, the all-time
Sorry,
losing
yeah.
record.
Yeah, I was talking to some people about it, and I mean, at some point you knew that you guys were gonna get the record, right? It wasn't. Was it
I was
close?
rooting for it. I was rooting for it. I'm like, if we're losing this much games, we better just break the damn record.
Just tank.
Just
Um,
I wouldn't say tank, but like we better like I literally cheered when we broke the record. Like the games where we could have broke the losing record at were probably some of the most filled games of the year, besides like maybe against the Cubs and the Yankees. Um,
so
because
that
people wanted to see it.
my thing was this: if you guys knew you guys were going to get the record, right? Say that you did it. After that, if there's a handful of games left, why not bring some like old man league players and just have them go out there and
Oh, like
sign
me?
like like just sign like a 5 day contract that you get 2 or 3 games that you're playing in just to do it. Like I think that would bring in some some tickets from like families and friends and just people just trying to get there, you know. But I mean, I don't know. I just thought that would have been funny. It would have been a funny little marketing thing, and just been like, hey,
Yeah, man. Bring in the men's league champions over here.
yeah, it's like hand pick a couple of them, and then another league that they won, and just do it that way. But I just think that'd be funny.
But it's you know, it's off season. Winter meetings are happening right now. Just looking at it, I mean, Max Fried just agreed to a 8-year deal with the Yankees, which that's a solid deal for him. He's a good pitcher. Yankees will appreciate him. Um, Jake Berger, of all people, is moving to the Rangers, which I mean, it sucked to. It's like the last couple of years, like you lose so many good players for the White Sox. Like Michael Kopech, he just won a World Series with the Dodgers. Crochet's on the Red Sox now. Anderson, nowhere to be seen. Like the downfall is just horrific. Um, but it's
Who would you like to see them at least pick up? Like 2 or 3 players that you're like, we got to have these guys to at least see some sort of results. Do you have any of them?
no, because at this point, there's no point going for some of these players because the players that we want to develop, is like the four that we just traded Crochet for. Like it takes time. Like maybe once we get to realistically maybe 2026 season, maybe 27 at the earliest.
I thought you
Maybe
said
then
2020 or never mind.
maybe the 26 or 27 season, maybe go pick up someone, but who knows what the market's gonna be like then. Um, it's kind of similar to what we did in 19 and 20, where we went and picked up, all these veteran pitchers and players to boost the upcoming rookies, and it worked for 2 seasons and then nothing. So, it's just everything's too soon. I don't think we should waste our money on anything right now other than acquiring prospects because clearly we have no potential to do anything other than like I'll be happy just to be above 500 next year. I'll be happy to be 10 below 500 next year.
What happens if you guys break the record again? That'd be nuts.
Jerry needs to sell the team. It's just
Yeah, well,
all right. Enough ranting about MLB. I mean, it's just it's off season. A lot of stuff still happening, so it's to be seen. It's only December. Stuff's gonna happen all the way up until probably spring training starts, and even then, there's some signings that still happen during spring training. So we'll see. Off season fun.
yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of things that need to happen for some Chicago teams, and that's just one of them. I think I saw like a graphic that they fired a bunch of like head
Oh,
coaches for all
yep.
the different besides
Hmm.
Billy Donovan,
Yep,
which
and that's questionable too at
yeah,
times.
because if he doesn't start winning games, he might be out of there. But you know,
I mean,
Billy Donovan is a good coach, just maybe not for the Bulls. Might be a little biased. He brought us 2 championships down in Florida, and then did okay at OKC. But
oh, he
maybe
was
he's
a Florida coach.
yeah.
Oh, did not know
Their
that.
court's named after him. But maybe he's just a college coach. I don't know. He can always come back to the Gators, even though that Golden is doing pretty good right now, which leads us straight into NCAA basketball. Let me find it. There we go. Which don't mean to toot my own horn. Gators are up in the top 10. We're looking pretty good right now. I do have to touch on at the beginning of the season, there were a bunch of allegations with Golden. I haven't heard anything with him yet, so I don't know if they're true. If they are true, get them out. If they are not, keep doing what you're doing, Golden, with as in basketball wise, but don't be doing what they are accusing you of doing. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're looking good. We also haven't really played that high of competition. I know that we got Arizona State coming up on Saturday, and then that following week we have North Carolina, which is going to be a great test for us. If we can beat Arizona State, we'd be going 10-0 heading into that game. Um, but yeah, I mean, who would have thought the SEC is a basketball conference?
Yeah, out of nowhere. Well, not out of
Out of
nowhere,
nowhere
but
is
not
crazy.
not out of nowhere. But it's definitely a surprise because SEC is more of a football conference than anything else.
A
Yeah,
lot of it.
I'll give it baseball,
Yeah.
but it's primarily a big football conference.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which now they're starting to say that football might not be as strong as what people are thinking. But I will say basketball is
Big Ten,
storming,
baby.
storming into the lead. Um, Tennessee number one, Auburn number two. I mean, KU at 5, Alabama at 7, the Gators at 9, and right on the outside we got Oklahoma. So I mean, we got some teams that are pretty good, looking pretty good so far. Like I said, we haven't played anybody that's been like too high in the talent level. But as the season goes on and as conference play starts to kick off, I'm really excited for conference play because that's where we'll see kind of who we got. I think we got Tennessee to start conference, so that'll be a good matchup. Um,
Yeah, conference play is always when it gets to be a lot of fun for college basketball, in my opinion.
I
I
think
mean,
Big Ten might have already started conference play, right?
Big Ten,
Illinois,
they did start. Then they
Illinois
lost
beat
Northwestern,
Wisconsin.
but then they beat Wisconsin. So it's like,
Yeah,
I mean, Illinois wise, we were, I think, what were we? I just had it. It was we were 19 last week or the week before this current ranking, but now we clearly have dropped out. I mean, when you lose to an unranked Northwestern, um, it hurts. Northwestern seems to always have Illinois' number. They beat us last year too. But I mean, we beat not Arkansas. We beat Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's still ranked. I don't think Arkansas is ranked anymore. No, they're not. But we beat Arkansas. They're ranked, and I mean, we play Tennessee this weekend, 2 days from now. So, whew, that's either can be really fun or it's gonna be a blowout. No in between. So we'll see. It should be fun. I mean, conference play it started, but it gets really into swing once we get into the new year, and we'll go from there. We'll see how it does. The Big Ten's always fun to watch for basketball, especially now that we have all these old Pac-12 teams with us. This should be make it even more interesting.
yeah. UCLA is going to be strong. Oregon's strong. USC, they aren't, I don't think, as strong. And then Washington is kind of mediocre. But yeah, we'll see. The one surprising one that I've seen thus far is UConn taking some L's. Um,
Indeed.
they're they're they've
Oh,
lost
dude,
3 games.
the Maui tournament. Oh, they suffered bad.
Yeah,
They did
two
not. I mean,
losses getting there.
yeah, that was not a good Thanksgiving time for them at all with the Maui tournament.
No.
And I mean, like you said, with Tennessee and Auburn up there, gone are the days where it's just Duke and UNC always at the top. I mean, finally something new.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch. Um,
If Duke shot back up to top 5 whenever they beat Auburn. That game going back and forth was awesome to watch. The Duke Kentucky game was fun to watch at the very beginning of the season. Um, Gonzaga's gotten some losses. Bama smoked North Carolina. I don't know. I don't know if Bama's just that good like they were last year, or if it was just an off day from North Carolina, or maybe North Carolina's not that good. Are they even ranked?
They are.
No,
No, they're
they're
not.
not. So maybe not. Maybe North Carolina isn't going to be a test for Florida. But that's the one thing that I love about basketball. It doesn't matter what your ranking is or um, like the team that you're on. It You really got to show up every single game. Anybody can have a bad shooting game. Team can't. I mean, they can just be in a slump, and anybody can get beat. That's just basketball is a game of runs, and depends on how you settle it and attack it. So
Yeah, and I don't know how much I don't know if you guys ever talk about the women's basketball at all, but I just been glancing at that. I mean, the top teams over there don't surprise me at all. It's UConn, South Carolina, LSU, UCLA.
yeah,
I mean, those are to be expected. I mean, those are
yep.
the top teams in women's basketball. So,
I
especially when
think Notre
UConn's
Dame
gone.
and what?
Notre Dame's up there too. I mean, especially when I mean, you had you had the South Carolina girl, Angel Reese, Kaylin Clark. They're all gone now. So I mean, UConn got Paige Beckers, but other than that, I'll kind of have to relook at all these rosters to figure out who's good, who's good now. But um, that's been fun to watch over the last couple of years. So we'll see where that turns
Yeah,
out too.
I think UConn and Notre Dame play either today or sometime this week for the Shamrock Classic for women. So we'll see if Notre Dame can pull off the upset. I think
It
UConn
is
is
it is
undefeated.
it is going on right now. Yeah, it is. It is 39 to 30. It's Notre Dame's up 39-35 in the third quarter. So it's a low scoring game actually, but they're only up by
Upset
they're up
alert!
by four. We'll
Handing
see.
UConn their first loss? I
Shall
don't
see.
know. But we got a good matchup right now on the boys' side with Iowa and Iowa State. Iowa is beating them by 11 right now, so shocking. But
Iowa seems to always shock people randomly. I feel like.
didn't they beat somebody else earlier this year? It was like a last second
Who did
shot.
they beat?
Northwestern, maybe? I think so.
Yeah, it was Northwestern. Yep, that's right.
So
I can see that.
we got some good games going, and coming up. I mean, Texas is playing New Mexico State. Got any good games going on tomorrow? Nebraska, Iowa.
That'll be
I mean,
solid.
Indiana. Other than
But yeah,
that,
I mean,
nobody too huge.
Saturday is going to be an interesting game, just personally. For Tennessee and Purdue and A&M, that should be interesting. So we'll see. Getting into the grind of the season for that college basketball.
Butler in Wisconsin? At Butler? Maybe tickets will go down by tomorrow. I might have to go to that game. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else that's really catching my. Oh, Tennessee, Illinois. That's tomorrow. Louisville,
It's
Kentucky.
Saturday.
Oh, never mind then. That is right. That is Saturday. Yeah. I don't know. Oklahoma State. Might have to talk to Tanner about that one. Creighton, Bama. Creighton beating Kentucky. Kansas. I don't
Should
know.
be fun.
Should be. We're in full swing for the men's basketball season. We're starting to get right into the meat and potatoes of the season. Right whenever they got to really start winning some. By now they've kind of played some good comp to kind of see how they're gonna stack up the rest of the year. But I don't know. Good games. We already got some buzzer beaters. We already got some like I said, just a good game. So we'll
Since
see.
we're still on college, do you want to talk about this football bracket now, or do you want to stay with basketball?
We'll go with basketball real quick
All right.
because we got NBA stuff. Which the main thing I wanted to cover with this one was just the tournament that we got going on. The cup, NBA Cup, I think is what they call it. Yeah, here it is. Bracket. Trey Young and the Hawks beat the Knicks last night. Trey Young, was he being a little disrespectful at the end of the game?
Probably. It's Trae Young.
I mean, I don't think the Hawks and the Knicks really get along. Sorry, the Knicks fans and Trey Young don't get along. So I think it's just adding fuel to the fire, which is fine. It makes it entertaining. But but yeah, we got the Bucks and the Hawks in the semis with the Thunder and the Rockets. Rockets beating the Warriors, Thunder beating Mavericks. What are your predictions for this? I got Thunder and I got Bucks.
I probably, you know, this is just out there because I haven't, I've paid attention a little bit here and there, but I haven't really paid attention to the Cup stuff. But I'll go with the Thunder and the Hawks.
Thunder and Hawks.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Bucks and Thunder. All right. Well, we'll see. They play what, Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
A
Go
lot of
Saturday.
basketball on Saturday.
It's jam packed and one of the biggest college football games. Army Navy.
Oh, Army Navy games this weekend. Gotcha.
Yep. But before we go over there, I mean, nothing. We got Pistons Celtics going on right now. Heat Raptors. The Heat are looking to trade Jimmy Butler, which kind of shocked me. Jimmy Butler said that the team that he would be looking at for a trade would be the Suns. Um, they're talking about sending LeBron to the Warriors. Don't know if that's actually going to happen. Same thing happened last year. If they
That'd
did
be
do that,
ridiculous.
though, I think it would break the NBA.
Just a bit. I mean, based on the Olympics performance with LeBron and stuff, yeah, just a bit.
Um, yeah, I think that's about it right now. Um, yeah. Now we can go on to football. Oh, let's see. So, let's see. Both of our teams are bowl bound.
What bowl did you guys? Oh, you guys are playing in Tampa against Tulane, right?
Yep. Tulane, yep.
Tulane, yeah.
And then you guys are playing against South Carolina. LSU is playing. I don't know who LSU is playing.
Find it.
Bowl
They're
games.
playing Baylor at the Texas Bowl on New Year's Eve.
It's very interesting.
And Illinois also
Um,
plays on. Oh, Illinois is at the Citrus Bowl. Nice.
so what we'll do, we'll start with the. Well, first off, pump the brakes. It's my time to talk about my Gators. 3-game winning streak to end the season. Crazy, crazy. Definitely thought. Oh, the very first episode, you guys can go back. I said that Florida was going to beat LSU. I knew it from the beginning. They did. I didn't think we were going to beat Ole Miss. Our defense has stepped up, and I will repeatedly say this. Armstrong on the sideline as the defensive coordinator. Billy, don't ever put him up in the box ever again. Because as soon as you brought him down to the sidelines, our defense has been one of the best defenses that Florida's seen in a while. I mean, we had 7 sacks against LSU, 7, and then we turn around and we have another good sack number against Ole Miss. I can't think of that one off the top of my head. And then we turn around and we have another good sack number. I think it was like 7 or 8 against Florida State, forcing 8 fumbles. Like, proof is in the pudding. I'm a huge fan of Armstrong. I hope that he stays at Florida for a very, very long time. I hope that he never leaves. If he wants to be the head coach, I'm sorry, Billy. Get out of here. Put Armstrong there. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, I think he is a very good defensive coordinator. He brings a lot of energy to the sidelines. Our team has been playing phenomenal. But, yeah, they shocked me. I was happy that they won whenever we were at the LSU game. That following week, beating Ole Miss, and then going to Florida State.
I mean, that was to be expected.
And beating on them Seminoles. Hey, you never know.
I will
You never
say
know.
that the Ole Miss game was fun to watch. Jackson Dart kept throwing darts to the defense, so
I will say though, there like the first part of that game, Jackson Dart was throwing some good balls.
100%. He just lost it in the last quarter.
There was 2 that, I mean, we were texting in the group chat. The first touchdown that he threw like perfectly placed over the shoulder, and then the second touchdown he threaded the needle. I mean, that's a great quarterback play, and then he kind of just fell apart. I feel bad for him. I do like Ole Miss, as in like I do like Lane Kiffin and I do like Jackson Dart, but I mean, it was rough, especially near the end of that. Like he throws a pick that got overturned. He was throwing a fit on the sideline, turn around, comes back in, throws another pick, and I'm like, dude.
Not gonna lie, I was lifting at that time when I saw that happen. I started dying laughing. I'm like,
I
threw
thought
another
it was
one.
funny. I was actually sitting there like, this is gonna get overturned, and he's throwing a fit over there. I was like, it'd be so funny if he just turns around and just throws another one, and then boom, did, and I was just like,
I love it.
that's crazy. And then we got to talk about the rivalry games going on and everything that happened. It's hard, especially with this new thing that came out recently about Ohio State doing this, or Ohio making it a felony to put a
That's
flag.
ridiculous.
Like,
That's
come
so
on now.
stupid.
Come on now.
Like I understand, like you can be upset, like, but as a politician, you're gonna use your political power to try and sign a bill that makes it illegal to plant a flag. That's pathetic. Like that's just being a sore loser because you can't win. Like, come on, that's ridiculous.
But hey, it's crazy to me. But as playing football,
the brawls were fun to watch, though. I will say that.
Yeah. So we'll dive into this. All right, we'll start off with the Florida State game. Right, Florida wins. Florida State has been a rivalry for a very, 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 very long time. It's been very hostile. There's literally, if you watch every Florida State game at the very beginning at home, the guy takes the spear and he throws it in the ground from the horse. Besides one game, and that is the Florida State game. He gets off the horse and does it, and that means war. Like literally, like that's what that means. So whenever the winner or loser, there's going to be smack talk. There's going to be that edge, right? Which I was worried with this transfer portal and just bringing in guys, wasn't knowing how passionate those guys were going to be with that. I was kind of glad. I'm not promoting fighting at all, but I was kind of glad to see the fire that was in those guys. Now,
yeah, you got these announcers saying, "Oh, you don't like to see us." Nah, we all love to see some fire like that. Come on now.
Yeah. Now we're not promoting it. We're not telling you to go do that.
But it's fun to watch.
Yes. I mean, Zach is a huge WWE guy too, so.
I mean, yeah.
He likes fighting. No, but it's to me it's part of the game. Like I've been a part of teams that have been on both sides of that, right? Where you're jawing at your rival and everything, and then a scuffle happens and you won, and then that kind of does that. But then I've also been on the other side where I was coaching, and there was a brawl after the game because another team said something to the other guy and that guy didn't do it.
I remember that.
Again, I am not promoting it, but at the end of the day, if you lose the game, you got to deal with what you lost, right? Um, People are going to talk, especially if they win. Planting a flag is not hurting anybody. It's not. There's been other instances, and I will go back to this Florida State. Florida State beat Florida at home. They literally took a gator head and was marching around the field. Like, we didn't take no head or anything. We just put a flag in the middle. Baker Mayfield may have started that, but they also do that at the Red River rivalry every time. So I get it. You want to protect your house, but at the same time, you have 60 minutes to protect your house. After that clock hits zero, like, you want to decide to fight then? I don't know. Whenever I was a coach, I talked to players that did do that, and I was like, why are you guys deciding to show fight now? There's nothing that you can do now that's going to result in what already happened.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you trying to do that? That's my 2 cents. I don't promote fighting. I get why people are doing that. The whole Michigan Ohio State thing, I think they took it way too far with the pepper spray. Way too far. It's just, I mean, I get it. There are guys that are fighting and stuff, but not everybody in that circle was fighting. There were other people trying to grab people up. And some of those guys were getting pepper sprayed. Like, I get it. You need to control the situation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's like I said, it's fun to watch as a spectator, But when you're fighting like that after a game, like, what does that do? Oh, someone's talking shit. Okay, sure, you don't want to, back down from it, but at the same time, it's like, why start something like that when you've already lost? Like, if it's in the middle of a game, that's a little different because you're still in the middle of a game. You're like tensions are heightened. After the game, like, that's it. Like, you're not going to play each other again for another year at least. So it's like I said, fun to watch. But as a player or as a coach, I can understand. It's different. But
yeah. Going back to like the whole Florida State thing, like whenever it happened, like Billy didn't know that his players were going to go plant the flag in the middle of the field. So why is the Florida State coach screaming at Billy's face saying something about the flag being thing? Yes, he's the head coach, but he cannot control 100 and some odd kids from doing what they want to do. After that, I mean, yeah, he's gonna say no. I'm not. I don't promote that. I don't want that to happen. But at the end of the day, like, he's only one dude. He can only control what he can control. Like, he can't go up to somebody and say no, and then that person just automatically is like, oh, I can't do nothing anymore. Like, no, they can do whatever they want, but it decides if they want to listen or not. So I don't know. The press conference by Mike after the game, I was like, okay, you want to puff your chest and say, well, that'll never happen again. If you didn't like that, then you shouldn't have let it happen in the first place.
Yeah.
And I'm a Florida fan, and I don't like Florida State, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I absolutely can't stand them, I hate them, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't never want to see them win, but at the same time, like, they've beat us, and I mean, they went 13-0 last year. And then you turn around and go 2-10, and you're upset because you lost to your rival. But besides the point, just wanted to cover on that. Zach, do you have anything on that? The only other thing that I have on it is whenever Florida stuck the flag in the ground, I didn't know that it actually stuck. I thought somebody was holding it. And then he walked away and the flag was still there, and I was like, no way that is actually standing by itself. I was like, oh my gosh. And I get it, it's grass, and a lot of them don't stick if it's not grass. But I was just shocked. But okay, that's it on that two-piece. Now let's get into the bracket. Zach, what are your thoughts on the bracket?
The right
Did the
choice.
yeah
The
they
right
did it the
choice.
right way? You didn't want to see Bama in there?
No, because when you have two horrible losses to two 6-6 teams, like you were the number one team in the country and you lost to Vanderbilt, and then later in the year you're still ranked and you have a horrible loss to Oklahoma. Like not bad, horrible. Like you got embarrassed. Like no, and yeah, SMU sure maybe their strength of schedule wasn't as good, but they didn't necessarily have a terrible loss at
Yeah.
all. I agree with Boise State getting the bye, although some people might not agree with it and thought
Do
that
you
maybe.
do
Um,
you agree with their seeding though?
yeah,
Do you
I'll,
think they
I'll
should
say
be
that.
three?
I over Arizona State. I don't know. I feel like that's a toss up to me personally. Either way, I think it would have been fine. Um, I don't think Clemson should have got the bye personally, and I'm glad they didn't because they weren't in the top. Were they even in there? Yeah, they weren't even in the top 10 going into the championship week. So
No,
I'm
they were
just
nine and
glad
three.
that yeah. So so then Boise State deserved obviously 3 or 4, whatever one they got. I mean, to me it didn't matter, but they got it. So
Yeah.
like because then you have the argument of okay, well especially with SMU, like if they lost since they lost conference championship. And there's an argument if they don't make it because they lost conference championship, then that's going to put an incentive not to even play the conference championship at that point. And I understand where Bama's coming from. Their strength schedule is better. They're playing the better teams more often. But you can't overlook those two horrible losses. Like I personally can't. I mean, especially just because they were the number one team when they lost. Like it was. I mean, I know upsets happen, but that's an upset that should not have happened. And Tavius called that.
He did.
So
He did.
it's it's something that shouldn't have happened. And your losses have consequences like that. It's just as simple as that. Um, Obviously, we knew Oregon was going to get the bye. The Georgia Texas game surprised me. I didn't think Georgia was gonna beat them, but they did. Um, so good for them. But the one thing I will say is that if Bama did get in, I was hoping that they would have to either um, if there was two things I was hoping for. One is if Boise State didn't get a bye, that Bama would have to go up to Boise State. Just put them in a cold weather game, and if
In
Boise
a blue
State
field.
or have them go play Notre Dame in South Bend. Like give Bama a cold game because like I would love to see how, especially because the home sites. I would love to see how any of these teams are going to react to a cold game. Like Indiana Notre Dame. I mean, there's really no home weather advantage anymore there because they're both used to the cold weather. Um, Maybe Penn State SMU has some weather advantage, but I don't think Penn State is going to be. I mean, well, who knows? Obviously, these games aren't for another week, so we'll find out then. But should
That'll be a weather. SMU's from Texas, so they're
yeah,
not used to
we'll
that
see how cold it is though.
brisk cold up there.
Should be fun. I think Texas will beat Clemson pretty easily. Ohio State, Tennessee. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good 8-9 game. I don't
So
know.
I'll say my two piece about it. I do think they got it right. I do think they did with the teams. Now the seedings, I don't know if I agree with. I don't see Boise State being the third ranked third. I also don't see Notre Dame being ranked seventh. Um, Definitely think they should have scrambled it around a little more than the way that they did. But I do think that they got all the teams right. Like you can't give Clemson the bye because they're 9 and 3. They well, the only chance that, or the only way they got in was winning their conference. Um, SMU, they had one early loss against BYU whenever they weren't ranked. You can't really penalize them for that. I mean, they blew out everybody else they played, so you got to keep them in. Indiana, their only loss was against Ohio State. I know that was the only good team that they played, but that's their only loss. You can't penalize them for that. They had a really big victory margin against who they played. I would put Boise State at 4. Arizona State would be at 3. Arizona State is a very strong team. They played in what I think is a stronger conference than Boise State. And we'll get into the Heisman talk here in a little bit. But, yeah, I think Boise State needed to go down to 4. Arizona State needed to go to 3. Penn State and SMU, not a huge fan of that matchup. I would have rather seen either a Notre Dame Penn State or a Clemson Penn State instead of that. But the only matchup that I do think they got right was that Tennessee Ohio State matchup. That is one of the best games that one of the games that I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, because
Indiana,
that's the toss-up game. Like, you just don't know.
right? Indiana, Notre Dame. You have the first ever 12-team playoff, and you're putting two teams that are from the same state playing each other.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, one is independent and the other one's in the Big Ten, but come on now, like, everybody wants to see an SEC team come all the way up to the cold, brisk Midwest, or just like, we want to see that travel. In my eyes, Notre Dame should be 5. I don't know how you rank them third best team in the country and then you rank them 7, under Penn State and under Texas. I get the losses, and I get that the NIU loss is terrible on their record, but if you look at every other game, they won, and they won pretty good. So I think Notre Dame should be 5. The hardest road to the championship is going to be Tennessee, Ohio State. I mean, you go right through that, fight into a fight with Oregon, who's going to be well rested for 3 weeks, and then after that, I mean, I have Texas going all the way to the semis. So then you got to play a tough Texas team. And, I mean, I think, I don't know. The Penn State, SMU, Boise State game, whoever wins that's just going to get beat by Georgia. I don't.
You think Notre Dame can challenge Georgia at all?
Defensively, yes. Offensively, no. Georgia does so many different things with their defense, with moving the front, having the linebackers come down, bail. But I think Notre Dame's defense, if they step up and force a couple of turnovers and score on defense, then they can. But if it's just defenses cancel offenses out, I think on the offensive side, Georgia's a little more talented. I personally also think that Georgia should be going with Stockton the rest of the year, the rest of this playoffs. He came out and balled. I know his stats don't run out and surprise people, but the way that the ball left his hand in the second half of that SEC championship game, I loved. Like, I just thought that was he did what he needed to do. He directed the team to the win. Was able to score. Beck came in, handed the ball off for the win in OT. So, I don't know. I'm excited for this 12-team playoff. I love that there's more teams involved. I love that there's different rounds, and I absolutely love that there are home playoff games. Bringing it to the college's campus, awesome. I'm a huge college game day guy. I love that they're going to be in 2 different locations here in I'm not even in South Bend, but over in South Bend, and then they're going to Columbus. That was genius move. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. Didn't get any first round tickets this year. Maybe next year Florida's in there. If they are, hey, run the views up because we going to need money to go. But yeah, that's we'll go through our predictions next week as we kind of get closer and kind of see who's in and out. But that leads me to the Heisman talk. Heisman is handed out tonight by you, Zach. Who are you giving it to?
Ashton.
Ashton? Genty?
Yeah.
Why?
Just the way that he's been playing. I mean, he's in Boise State. Sure, they're playing lesser schools, but the way he's playing is just the way he's balling out. As simple as that. I'm not the person really to ask Heisman winners about, because it's not
That's
like
fine.
I know a lot of people like that, but just seeing some of the stuff that Ashton's done, it's like, come on, like how do you not vote for him? Is my thing. Now, I don't I forgot who else is on there.
Travis Hunter, Dylan
Yeah,
Gabriel,
yeah.
and Cam Ward
But yeah,
from
I
Miami.
mean, Ashton, I feel like is probably going to be the favorite. But we'll see. Obviously, you might have a different opinion. That's fine because you watch more college football than me. But just from what I've seen, I feel like it's just Ashton's a no-brainer.
So, and a lot of people do have that view, but a lot of people also have my view, and that is Travis Hunter. And I get it. Snaps aren't stats. Blah blah blah. I get it. He doesn't have the stats on the defense to be that good. Blah blah this. Blah blah that. I get it. Trust me, I do. But I don't. I don't know. I think Travis Hunter is the guy that needs to get it. He has showed what he can do both on offense and defensive side of the ball. And defensively, you can say that he doesn't have the stats, but they didn't throw to him. So if you don't throw to that side of the ball or that side of the field, you can't put stats up, right? Um, and then offensively, he played both sides of the ball, and he still had over 1,000 yards receiving. Led the team in touchdowns with 14. Had a total of 4 interceptions. Whenever he's even said that he should have had more, but he just had butterfingers on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we've seen people play both ways, but we haven't seen people play both ways and put up those kind of numbers. And then Ashton Genty, I give him all the credit. He is balling out. We haven't seen people do this in a very, very long time. My only thing about that is that he hasn't played a very strong defense. Sure, he had over 100 yards rushing against Oregon. So did Purdue. Oregon is not a run-stop defense, especially at the beginning of the year. They almost got beat by Idaho, I think. So, and I love the argument. Oh well, didn't he put up some numbers, and he did, and he's a baller. I'm not trying to take any credit from him, but we will see during these college football playoffs, whenever they play more of a run-stop defense, if it is going to be SMU, if it is going to be Penn State. Penn State has a lot bigger guys that can tackle. UNLV, they were a good football team. Don't think that defense is going to be as good as Penn State's. That's just my 2 cents, but we'll see. I think it's next week
Yeah, that sounds about right.
or this week. This week or next week? Next week, I think. I don't know. But we'll see. Cam Ward, all of them are very good football players. They have the good stats. It's if they were all dispersed throughout the 4 years, they all would win it, because they're all just balling out. But it's just my two cents. All right. Last but not least, NFL. Did you have anything else for college?
No, I'm good from
Okay.
college wise.
Cool. Oh well, I did want to talk a little bit about the hires that were made. Bill Belichick, North Carolina.
That'll be
Dan
interesting.
Mullen, UNLV. Um, can't think of the old UNLV's coach, but he's now at Purdue. Frost is now at UCF. A lot of jumping around. Malazan is now the OC at Florida State. A lot going on right now. Bill Belichick, we'll see how he can do in the college. It's going to be a lot different than NFL. But,
Oh yeah.
but Bill Belichick has a chance to submit himself as the best college football coach, or best football coach of all time.
There you go.
If he wins a natty at North Carolina,
That'd be crazy. I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't know. I don't know if I see that happening, like
he is
especially in the
the
next couple
GOAT.
of years. But we'll see.
It's very interesting to me because you see a lot of transitioning from college going up to NFL, and they can't do it. We'll see if the NFL
How it
to
goes
college,
opposite. Yeah.
yeah, somebody who was so successful at the NFL level, coming down to college and seeing if he's so successful at the college level. But NFL news, the Lions are killing it. The Bears suck. That's about it. No, there's not. We saw everything with Joe Burrow, his house getting broken into, a lot of his privacy
Yeah,
going
which is
out to the public.
wild.
Apparently, it's happened to a lot of people.
I've seen that. It's happened to a couple of different players, and that's kind of crazy to think about that that's happening. But I mean,
Yeah. Um. But yeah, the Bears. I mean, listen, I used to be a Bears fan, and I'm somewhat still a Bears fan. But they let me down every year. They let me down every game. And now I just think it's funny. I will root for them until they do something stupid, and they've always done something stupid, so I'm not rooting for them right now.
yeah,
Until they start making some smart moves. I have one thing for the Bears, and I think that they should hire Mike Vrabel. If they don't hire Mike Vrabel, I might have to pick another NFL team.
you think they should hire Mike Vrabel?
Oh, absolutely. He is a Chicago guy. Look at him. Defense, in your face, like yes, that would be to me the best fit. Don't take Marcus Freeman. Don't take Ryan Day. Don't take anybody from college. Get Mike Vrabel in there, and he'll get that team right. He was good whenever he had a quarterback in Tennessee. He has a quarterback at in Chicago. I mean, he has the pieces. They have the pieces. It's putting the right pieces in play. That's my 2 cents. I don't know what your 2 cents are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't really looked into any of the potential coaches yet. I was just glad after what happened on Thanksgiving that Fluss is gone because it was that was hard to watch on Thanksgiving.
I literally. So we watched the game on the way back from the Florida LSU game. Whenever
Is that the Packers game? Yeah, that was a Packers game.
Got blocked, and I warned Zach. I just want to clarify. I said they're gonna get your hopes up, Zach, and then they're just gonna blow it. And he goes, "No, they're gonna kick the field goal, and we're gonna win the game." I was like, "They're gonna blow it somehow, some way." And the kick is blocked. I couldn't stop laughing so hard. I did the same thing at Thanksgiving. Because
I just want to say, if I'm ever with you two again, and the Bears can win a game by kicking a field goal, I'm leaving or turning it off wherever I'm around you because I'm not doing it anymore.
No, it will not change the outcome. I'm telling you right now, that's how the Bears operate. They get you guys they get you on the edge of your seat. And you're like, finally, we're gonna win a game, and then, nope, miss, wrong,
nope.
loss, L. They always do it. It always happens.
Yeah.
But all right. We'll go right into our picks for tonight and the rest of this weekend. Zach, who do we got tonight?
Is there a live score or?
Yeah. Whoa! You can't look at that. You're already cheating.
I'm gonna go. I'll go 49ers on this one.
You looked at the score, didn't you?
I did not.
They're up 3-0.
Wow, 3-0. That's such a large deficit to overcome for the Rams.
Um, San Francisco played really well last game. Los Angeles also played really well, but they also let the Bills come back.
It's the Bills,
Give
man. It's the Bills. You gotta give them some. You gotta.
Josh
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 Allen is
Allen
just
had a
that
game.
guy. He
He
is
had a
that guy.
game. I'll go 49ers with you. Giants Ravens. Sorry, I got it all mixed up down here.
That's
We can
say
go Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns.
Kansas. I mean, if the Chiefs lose this game, I will laugh because they should not lose this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kansas City too. Cincy Texans.
That's Tennessee.
I mean Titans.
I mean, I want to go. I want to go Cincinnati, but the way that their luck has been this year, like Joe Burrow is balling out, but they're just not winning.
Their
Um,
defense sucks.
but I still think that the Bengals should win this game because the Titans aren't necessarily a great team. So I would hope that Joe Burrow can do enough to where they'll be fine. So I'm gonna go
You
with the
going
Bengals.
Cincy?
Yeah, I'll go Cincy.
Okay. Commanders Saints.
Commanders.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tavius. Got to go Commanders.
I would hope that Tate realizes that it's a Commanders type of game.
Baltimore Giants.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm also going Baltimore. Dallas Panthers.
Give me the Panthers for this one.
You mother trucker.
Why were you gonna say Panthers too?
Give me the Cowgirls.
Please. We them boys. No, you ain't.
I was gonna go Panthers if you were gonna go Cowboys.
Then you know it's okay to agree with me, Aiden. I know you don't like to, but
Well,
it's
I
okay
don't.
to
No,
agree
no,
with
no,
me.
no, 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 no. We have everything that's been like we're the same so far. So I want to be different a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Jets Jags.
Oh God. What a pathetic game this will be. Jeez, we got a 3-10 team versus a 3-10 team.
I'm going with the 3-10 team.
Is T Law hurt? Is he out this game?
Oh yeah,
He's out.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with the Jets
He's out the
then.
rest of the season.
Oh, wait, he's out this season. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll go with the Jets.
he got concussed. He got knocked out on the field.
I saw it happen. I just didn't know like how
Yeah.
bad it was.
He gone. Uh, Miami Houston.
Um. Oh.
Pick who you
This,
want because I'm going opposite.
then you pick first.
Okay. Uh, Give me the Dolphins. Give me the Fins.
I was gonna go Houston anyway. I feel like this is a game that this is a must-win game for Houston. To try and like seal up the AFC South. Just looking at the standings.
Yeah.
So if they don't win and the Colts are still have a chance, and there's a couple weeks left.
Colts Broncos. Must win for the Colts.
It is a must-win for the Colts. Although the Broncos, I mean, hold on. I feel like the Broncos, both this game is a must-win for both of them because they're both in the wild card hunt.
But the Broncos, I think, are in the lead for that hunt, or for that wild card spot.
Yeah, they're tied with a bunch of different people. Either way, this is a toss-up. I'm gonna go with Denver on this one.
Give me the Colts, baby.
This game is gonna be hard to pick. Oh gosh. Fantasy wise, I need Jared Goff to go off, but for one of my leagues. But man, this is tough.
You thinking? I got my pick. Give me the Bills. Josh Allen is furious that they couldn't come back and win against the Rams last week. They are going to walk into Detroit and they are going to come out with a dub.
I don't know, man. This is tough. I feel like I'm gonna go with Detroit here. I feel like what's his face is gonna try some stupid shit and it's gonna work.
Who's the coach?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Huh.
I always talk about his name. This dude. What's his damn name? Dan Campbell. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like he's gonna try some funny stuff against the Bills, especially if it's a close game. He's gonna try some trickery. He always does. He has the biggest damn balls on this planet, and it works a good chunk of the time. So we'll see. But I think Detroit can. I think it's gonna be a good game regardless. If it's a blowout for either team, I will be very shocked.
Yeah.
It should be a fun game though. So
Philadelphia
this next game will be also very fun.
Steelers.
Oof.
Give me the Eagles, baby.
I'm gonna go with Steelers in this one. Both teams have just been playing like there's two very good games, and thankfully they're on different channels so you can watch them both. But they are very
Unless
good
it's
games.
unless you don't get that one because it's regional by right.
All right, red zone it is, I guess. But I mean, these two are great games.
Pats versus the Cards. We go from those to this.
To this dog shit. Give me the Cardinals.
I'm also going Cards. Tampa Bay versus the Chargers.
This is a must win. This is a need for both of them. Where are the Chargers at? Yeah, okay, they can't win. They can't. There. I'll go with Tampa.
I'm going Chargers. Packers Seahawks for Sunday Night Football.
Seattle.
Give me the Packers.
I will never pick the Packers to win. I don't care if they're playing the 2-11 Raiders. I'm always gonna pick the Raiders.
Dang. You're a salty Bears fan.
No, I'm just a
Like
Packers hater.
Tavius is a salty Saints fan. He doesn't he won't he does not like picking the dirty birds.
Yeah. Who we got
Bears
for Monday night this week?
Vikings.
Oh, it's Bears
We
and
have
Vikings
two
are a
games.
Monday game. Oh,
Yep, we got two games. Why is it doing that?
Fuck it. Give me the Bears. We'll see.
Boo. Give me
Realistically,
the
probably
Vikings.
not, but I'm still gonna pick the Bears because I don't know.
Hear me out. Defense will play great the first half. Play great in the third quarter. They're gonna give you a little hope in the fourth.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
They're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Now Falcons
Um,
Raiders to end it.
Falcons.
Dirty Birds. Yep, I agree. Falcons. All right. Well, that is it. We've got a great slate of sports this weekend. Starting with Saturday with the Army-Navy game. We didn't even pick that one. Who do you got, Army or Navy?
Army.
Go Army, beat Navy.
Yeah.
I'm also Army. And then action-packed Sunday, we got the Rams, the 49ers playing right now. And we'll see how that game goes. I do believe that it is still 3-0. Yep, 3-0. But we got all of our picks in. We got you guys all caught up. I will be coming back next week. Zach, are you going to be coming back next week?
Sure thing. Might as well.
Hey, we might have got one, guys. Zach might be here to stay. But in other news, video game wise, Black Ops 6 came out with their Christmas edition with like different maps. Nuketown is what I'm really trying to get at. Fortnite, from the OG Fortnite players, even though you're going to get smoked whenever you get on there because of all the little kids that are just sweating right now.
We are so back.
OG season is back, and they just came out with a new, I want to say like search and destroy type
It's a
gameplay. Haven't
FPS game
played
mode.
that
It's
yet.
first person, so that'll be interesting. I'm gonna probably play it tomorrow or Saturday or the weekend and see how it is. Should be
I might
fun.
have to hop on to see. I might have to hop on. Let us know what you guys want to see. If you guys want to see a little bracket on video games, sports wise, I have Zach's number. Anything else, Zach has mine. Tavius is one of the worst video games players that I've ever seen. Just kidding. He's going to flip that and say that it's me. I'll take it. Um, Also, for those of you guys that don't know, Zach is in a iRacing league. So if you want to go and watch him dominate or mess up, either one, you can go over and watch his Twitch that he has. But other than that, this is another episode of the A&T podcast. Thanks for watching. Give it a like, give it a share, subscribe. I'm Aiden,
And I'm Zach.
and we'll see you next time.